What's the most disrespectful thing a coach ever did to you? My wrestling coach threw my inhaler in the locker room toilet because he thought asthma was fake. I watched it sink into the brown water while my lungs started twisting shut like someone was wringing out a wet towel. I've had severe asthma since I was 6 years old. Without that inhaler, I could die in about 4 minutes. That's not me being dramatic either. 4 minutes and I'm done. Coach Walker was this ex-Marine who ran our wrestling program like we were training for war. He had this thing about medical conditions being mental weakness. The first time he saw me use my inhaler, he told the whole team I was just another faker who couldn't handle real training. Last Tuesday, he decided to prove his point. We were 20 minutes into suicide drills when my airways started closing up. You know that feeling when you try to breathe through a straw and someone keeps making the straw smaller? That's what was happening. I stumbled over to my gym bag to grab my inhaler. Walker got there first. He picked it up and dangled it between 2 fingers like it was something gross he found under the bleachers. Rescue inhaler, I managed to get out. Need it to breathe. My buddy Luis tried to help me out. He reminded Walker about that time during States when the ambulance had to come for me. Walker's face went red and the veins in his neck started popping out. He went off about his 30 years of making champions without anyone needing pharmaceutical crutches. Then he looked me right in the eyes and said, "Your generation disgusts me. Software weak." Looking for excuses, I heard the toilet flush. Every single wrestler in that room froze. Walker came strutting out of the locker room, wiping his hands on his tank top like he'd just finished some important job. My legs gave out and I stumbled into the bathroom. There it was, floating in the third stall. The nasty one that never flushed right. My $200 inhaler swimming in yellow water with wet toilet paper and what looked like someone's dip spit. Walker yelled at me to get back on the mat or I was off the team. But I was already on my knees and my throat was making this high-pitched whistle sound. My fingernails were turning from purple to blue. Luis ran in and saw me curled up on the concrete floor. He started screaming for help. The thing about Walker was that he'd been building up to this moment for months. Earlier that same day, he'd made me take my shirt off during takedown demonstrations. He poked at my ribs where they caved in from years of struggling to breathe. Called it video game posture instead of what it really was. The whole team just stood there silent because what were they supposed to do? During water breaks, he would physically block me from getting a drink. He had this theory that asthmatics didn't need extra water because it made the wheezing worse. So I'd stand there with cracked lips while he gave these speeches about building mental calluses. The month before, he started timing how long I used my inhaler. 43 seconds one time. He made me do 43 seconds of push-ups to make up for the wasted practice time. Said my opponents were getting stronger while I was sucking on my baby bottle. Sometimes during demonstrations, he'd grab my inhaler and wave it around, talking about how it cost $200 for compressed air. His grandfather survived Normandy without one, so why did I need it? Real inspiring stuff. He even made me list every state champion wrestler our school ever had. Then he asked if any of them were asthmatics. When I didn't answer, he just smirked and said, "Champions don't need crutches." The messed up part was how reasonable he made it all sound. Other coaches would nod along with him. Parents trusted him completely because he had 30 years of trophies lining his office walls. Nobody questions that kind of success. By the time I hit that locker room floor, I was seeing gray around the edges. Then everything went black. I died for 53 seconds. That's what they told me later. Luis did chest compressions while screaming at me to wake up. The school nurse ran in with a defibrillator and shocked my heart back to life. I woke up with an oxygen mask strapped to my face and 2 paramedics leaning over me. Spent 3 days in the ICU with tubes down my throat. My mom sat in that uncomfortable hospital chair the whole time taking notes. She got written statements from every nurse and doctor who came in the room. When I got out, she walked into the principal's office with a banker's box full of evidence. Hospital bills adding up to $37,000. The paramedic report with patient expired 053 highlighted in yellow, plus Walker's personnel file showing 3 previous complaints about denying medical accommodations that somehow got buried. My mom used her courtroom voice, the calm, terrifying one. "Your employee killed my son for 53 seconds. The prosecutor considers this attempted murder. I convinced them to wait until we talked." Walker was gone by sunset.